Welcome into the Sporting News Studios. Tom Vandervoort with college basketball writer Ryan Fagan, looking ahead to the 2012-2013 season and looking at the North Carolina State Wolfpack, rated number 9 in our preseason poll. A lot of expectations for this team. When was the last state team that had this much hype going into the season?
It's been a long time. You know, NC State hasn't won an ACC title regular season or tournament since before 1990. I mean, it's been a long time since they've done anything. But there are expectations, and there are legitimately reasons for them. You know, this is a team that made a kind of a surprising run to the Sweet 16 last year, brought a lot of those guys back, some of their best players, you know, point guard Lorenzo Brown, you know, big man Richard Howell, C.J. Leslie, a guy who could have gone into the NBA draft and been possibly a lottery pick. Right. He decided to come back. You've got a talented class of incoming freshmen coming in, and this really is kind of a perfect storm for NC State fans.
And talk about Mark Gottfried and what he's been able to do there with the Wolfpack.
Well, he's come in, and one of his biggest focuses was kind of restoring the tradition, and not just, you know, the tradition of winning basketball games, which obviously is the biggest focus.
That's the cherry on top of the sundae, maybe, in a way.
But building back the feeling of tradition. I mean, State is a school that has, you know, 2 national championships, a ton of conference championships. You know, so Gottfried has really been about bringing the old stars back. You know, guys like Tom Gugliotta, Chris Corciani. You know, he's bringing them back into the program to try to create that family feel again. I think that's had an impact.
And you look at the talent level here. I mean, you talk about Richard Howell. He could be the best rebounder in the conference. Lorenzo Brown could be the best point guard in the conference. Leslie is super talented. What are the hurdles, some of maybe the pitfalls this team might encounter this year?
I think there's going to be a bit of an adjustment period as the freshmen get into the mix. You know, getting Rodney Purvis cleared from NCAA standards was huge. You know, he is a guy that, you know, we talk about.
He's a real difference maker.
Right. We talk about the difference between a team that's ranked 20th and ranked 5th, and he's the type of guy. He's a shooting guard. He can come in. You know, he's just, as they say, a winner. He does everything well, and that shooting guard spot was really a spot that they needed something. You know, you've got Brown at the point. You know, you've got Scott Wood, you know, a great shooter at the small forward. Then you've got Leslie and Howell down low. But you really needed that impact type guy.
And he's a perfect fit. Slots right in there.
He's a perfect fit for this team.
Talk about defensively. What do they do well and not so well on defense?
Well, defensively, they have, you know, with Howell, they've got a good defensive rebounder, you know, and he's a good defensive presence. He's just, you know, he's intimidating in the lane, you know. And C.J. Leslie, he's this tall, long, athletic guy who's a great shot blocker, and he's learning the value of being a team player, and that's, on the offensive end, that's not taking bad shots. On the defensive end, that's staying in your position. And we saw a big maturation process with him last year, and it seems that that's continuing, and he could be just a huge force on both sides of the ball.
Now, we've got him behind Duke in the preseason poll, ahead of Carolina. You look at those 3 teams, all right there in the triangle. How close is State to being able to win the conference, beat Duke and Carolina?
I don't think it would surprise anybody.
Toss up right now?
I think they're right there. I mean, it really is. You know, we talk about preseason polls, and you're talking about the difference between a team that's 6th and, you know, 12th or 13th. You know, there's not a whole lot of difference there. And each team has these great points that could be strengths, and they also have question marks, which is what makes this year, as much as any year in the past decade, really interesting for that research triangle rivalry.
Absolutely. All right, that's our look at North Carolina State, rated number 9 in our preseason poll. That's Ryan Fagan. I'm Tom Vandervoort. Thanks for watching.